All right, everybody, welcome back. So this is going to be another layout update, and right now I'm preparing for my first op session. So I was really running the locomotives all over the layout, and I actually found two shorts that was giving me some trouble. So I had a friend come over to help me out. This was actually my first time wiring DCC on a layout, and so I found an issue with a gap that I put in over here that shouldn't have been. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace this track. So I'm going to pull these out, but I got to have to mark where the foul points are over here. So we're over in an industrial area. So I'm going to pull this piece of track out. I already have another piece of track already weathered it upstairs. I had to paint the ties already. So that's drying. So I'm going to pull this piece out, and then we're going to install a new piece of track. I got to cut one gap in a different location. I actually have to put a gap here, which is right here now. So I'm going to have to replace that same gap. And then I'm going to have to put a plastic insulator right over here. So we'll be right back. All right, so I got the old piece out, and I got the new piece ready to go in. So I'm going to install this now, and then we'll be right back. All right, everybody. So this is the second area that had issues with a short. So I put a plastic rail joiner in right here, and I got a regular rail joiner there. So I should have gapped this side here, and I didn't. So this is the first time that I found this issue, only because it's the first time I'm using this siding for the pier, so in New Haven Harbor. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take this train and we're going to move it down to that siding, and we're going to test out to make sure that actually solved the problem. But what we did today was I actually took out this rail joiner, I slipped it back, and it solved the problem. So let's fire up the engine and see if it works. All right, so this is the siding that we're talking about. This is the siding for Michael's Landing, and I got a 5-car consist down here, so we're going to take it out and get it back onto the manufacturers. Now, once it went through the diamond and hit the first switch, that's where the short was happening. But I put that insulated rail joiner in there, and that solved the problem. So let's take it out. Let's check it out. All right, so we're good to go. All right, so we're gonna move on to the next phase of this video, and we're gonna talk about how I'm gonna do the operations on here. So we'll be right back. All right, guys, so unfortunately in this video, I'm not gonna be doing the operations segment. As I was testing another train, I found another short, and it was just another missing gap that I forgot to put in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be testing out the entire layout again, but this time instead of the actual just a locomotive, I'm taking a whole train with me. So I'm going to be switching some of these tracks over. Before I was just getting a short, and the reason why I was getting a short, I was missing a couple gaps. So let's stop the train right there for a second. So I ended up putting 2 plastic insulators here and then another one there, and that solved the actual issue. So when I was originally wiring this, I was testing as I was wiring it, and I wasn't having any type of problems, but I actually did a move on this layout with a full 5-car consist that I never did before, and it exposed an issue that I had. So I'd rather see it now than when I have my first op session in a couple weeks. So what I'm going to end up doing is testing out all the sidings and going through all the switches with a train. So I'm going to bring the train down. Let me switch that switch there. And this is where the original problem happened. And I thought initially it was a piece of rolling stock, so I swapped out the metal wheels with some plastic wheels. And I noticed that the wheels were a little on the large side, but it turns out it was a gap issue. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back up here. I'm actually going to shove this train down where the New England wire company is, or American Wire and Cable is going to be. And I have to go through a series of switches, so hopefully if there's a problem, it's going to show it. Okay. I have the sound turned off on this locomotive right now. And we got another short, so. All right. Gonna put another gap in, so I'll be back. All right, guys, so I was able to correct the issue with the shorts, and I want to go over what actually happened. Because I'm sure others have gone through the same thing, and I know there's other YouTube videos on it that speak of it. So these are the Peco insole frogs, and they work really good with DC, but with DCC, what happens is the frogs are insulated, as you can see here, but the problem is when a wheel goes across, so if I'm coming across here, and the wheel touches here, it creates a short. So from what I understand, Peco has corrected this problem with the newer style switches, and they shouldn't have that problem anymore. So under normal circumstances, you would have to insulate the 2 point rails like here, like I did with the plastic joiners. But in this case, I just had to put 1. I ended up gapping the old track here, but what happened is it created a dead section of track here. So if I put a metal joiner, I would get the short. So I ended up cutting the old piece out. I put a new piece in. And then the fix was, when I called my local hobby shop, is what you do is you take a little bit of super glue or clear nail polish, and you just put a little bit right here. And once that dries, it acts as an insulator, and you're not going to get that issue as far as shorts. So what I ended up using was this Faller Super Expert. So I put a little drop of that on a micro brush, and then once that was done, I just applied it just a little bit. I let it dry for about an hour, and I tested it out and it worked. So I'll show you how it's gonna work now. And I got the sound turned off for now. All right, so the problem solved. Originally, let me pull the train forward. Originally, I thought it was this blue Athearn car. And what I ended up doing was I took the metal wheels off, and then I put these wheels on. These are plastic wheels, and these are actually from AccuRail. And if you want a good plastic wheel, if you have to use them, these are the ones you want. They work very well. They're nice and smooth. So now that I knew it wasn't that car, I put the metal wheels back on, and it's not shorting anymore. So I hope this video was helpful. So if you ever run into this problem, that's probably what it is when you're dealing with DCC and the Peco insole frogs. But what I actually did is I double and triple checked all my wiring, and everything was done correctly. So I'm going to continue on my next video, which will be operations, and then you're going to see all the stuff I'm doing to prepare for my first ops session. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I apologize that I didn't have the operations segment in, but you'll see it at the next video. So can't believe it's December already, almost the end of the year. So hope you enjoyed this video. If you haven't already, hit the like button, subscribe if you're not already, and I'll see you at the next layout update. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you at the next layout update, and have a great night.